Oh, jam! Hello again, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 460 of the Mana Pool, because we have been doing this for far too long.
I think that's official now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which reminds me, there's a thing I need to talk about before we actually get started. But, so I am Chewy, the lead dork, and the guy who, talks first every episode. That's my job. I talk first.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I'm joined by the dorks. Hey buddies.
I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler and tangent master, and I may not talk first, but there's a good chance I may talk most.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy, and because of my problem with keeping up a steady volume and clear diction, I may talk the worst.
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And whenever I talk, I try to enunciate and speak clearly.
He's not wrong.
Dirk talks the best.
Yes. So we've got first, the most, the worst, the best. Got it. These are our new labels.
We're so in trouble.
So, after last week's episode, we wondered about the amount of total hours we had recorded thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And a listener, actually, somehow, he didn't say how, but he did the math for us.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Let's see. I can't remember where he's from.
Well, and this is the total. I'm assuming he worked off of the episodes that were available, which should be all of them. But this is just like after sound truncation and all that. So I'm assuming he's working off of this is the hours that have made it onto the show.
Yes.
So if you want to think about how long we have even been recording, it's probably even more than what you're about to say. But go ahead.
Yeah. So a big thank you to I think his name is pronounced Ellie. I think he's from Belgium. Hey, buddy. And he says, and I quote, "At the start of episode 459, the dorks shortly wondered about the amount of total hours they had recorded so far. Well, I added every episode up and came to a total of 941 hours, which is 39 full days and 5 hours of podcasting. These are only the Mana Pool episodes, so no 3 questions or other random stuff. You guys are insane and the best. You guys are insanely the best. So thank you, sir."
At least one of those is correct.
Yes, that's right. We are the best. 39 full days podcasting. Buh.
It's a good thing
Well,
we
didn't have to do it all in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had to do it all in a row, though, we'd be done by now. Well, I guess we couldn't do it all in a row because we'd have to stop and sleep every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to be starting a podcast soon. It's going to be a rotating cast of people coming on. Maybe I'll have you on every now and then, but it won't be any serious time commitment. You think you want to help me out with that?
Sucker. So, yeah, that's what, that's, wow. That's scary. So I'm going to close that now so I don't have to look at that number. And we're gonna do more things. So,
I'm sorry, how many days was that? 38? 39?
And 5 hours.
You guys watch Survivor?
No.
Okay, because the people that win that, they are on that island or location, whatever, I think for 39 or 40 days. So, with only each other for company. So it's like we were on that show with nobody but each other for company, recording 24/7.
I bet that would actually be entertaining for a short while.
For a short while, yes.
And then someone would kill me.
Chewie would decide to vote you off the island. By the island, we mean your life.
By vote, we mean knives.
Buh. So let's talk about something else. So since we recorded last week, there have been a few announcements that you will hear a lot more about on Monday Night Magic next week. But, it's news, so I figured we would talk about it real quick. The most relevant to our audience they've announced Commander 2017 edition.
And it's not what we predicted it to be.
Nope.
Did we predict? I don't remember what we predicted.
Well, we had thought that it was probably going to be 5 colors.
Oh, a 5-color and a 5-color deck and a colorless deck.
Oh, yeah.
Dual deck Commander 2017.
Dude, that'd be sick. So, yeah, there are 4. It comes out August 25th this year, so just, a few months. There are only 4 of them because they're not color-based like all the others. They're tribal. They didn't say what tribes. In fact, they didn't say anything other than that. Oh, and
it just says 4 new tribal themed.
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping. Go ahead.
It's $34.99 a piece, and that's what we got.
I'm kind of hoping it's not elves, goblins.
It's not the typical ones.
Soldiers, exactly. I'm hoping that there's at least one that's a little more atypical, but I have a feeling it's gonna be the typical ones, because if they do 2 typical ones and 2 atypical, somebody's gonna go, no love for merfolk, or no love for wizards, or no love for whatever, like if there's not a zombie one, then what the actual hell, is what some people are gonna say. So.
If there's not a zombie one, then what the actual hell?
So
I'm hoping that skeletons will get some love.
Yay!
And
Maybe
see that
some
would be
salamanders,
awesome.
Dirk.
I'm still hoping for either salamanders or maybe squirrels.
Oh God!
Wouldn't that be great to have a squirrel commander deck?
I hate you.
I get the feeling that would be the broken one. There's always a broken one, and I think that one would be it.
Yeah. I don't think he's wrong. Morrow would be very happy. All right, anything else about Commander? We don't really know a whole lot else.
Yeah, that's what we got. More news. Oh, let's do the lesser one, or not less. Oh, whatever. Let's do the one from yesterday. We've got the name of the new set coming out in fall. It's called Ixalan. There you go.
That's literally all we got.
Oh, wait, no, we got, releasing September 29th.
We don't have a tagline or anything. That'll be announced on Announcement Day.
Yeah, that they pushed
June.
back to June.
Yeah.
Because reasons. I like the way they pushed Announcement Day back, and then they were like, we pushed it too far back. And they start announcing things just before that. Like, wait, crap.
Ixalan sounds like the summon from Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X. I also had that same thought.
What's that?
It's a lightning one. It's that game's version of
Rama.
It's
a unicorn, but it's got a really crazy horn
that shoots lightning.
What's it called?
Ixion.
Ixion.
Oh, okay.
It's bad when I'm correcting other people on pronunciation.
Right?
No offense, Dirk, but I am the worst. So.
Look, Dirk, you just said you were the best talker. Come on, man.
Hey, I told us we were in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's our new monikers? Oh, wow, we're so in trouble.
He's the best among us. You don't need much for that.
If I talk the most, then it's like a monkey with a typewriter. Eventually, it's going to be great.
Infinite monkeys with infinite typewriters?
Shakespeare, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're doing a weird thing with Ixalan. It's going to be legal for the 2017 World Championship, but whatever. That's a Monday Night Magic thing.
They want to showcase it.
They're also moving around the dates of the relative dates of the Pro Tour and World Championship and stuff.
Yeah.
So the Pro Tour is going to be 5 weeks after the release instead of 2?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because they want to do the World Championship first.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, hang on, I got one more. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think people were speculating the name of this next set to be Azatlan, is that right? Didn't something appear on some advertising copy a while back and people were like, what the hell is this?
Oh yeah, it was part of a survey about packaging, and everyone lost their minds about it. And Wizards was like, no, it's just test stuff, don't worry about it. So, yeah. And I think you're right, I think it was like Azatlan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ixalan. So do we want to baselessly speculate for a second or just let it go? Guess that's enough.
That was the extent of my commentary.
I'm good.
Fair enough. I think they're going back to Kamigawa and just don't want to say it. That's a complete lie. I do not think that. I don't even hope that at this point, but.
Yeah, I think Kamigawa is just, that plane has sort of just been written off.
Yeah, it's too bad. There is potential there, but it's got such a stigma with it. Someday they will go back. I truly hope that.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to fix it.
And karma just got the better of me because I immediately slammed my knee into my desk as soon as I said that. Did you hear me swear? No, you didn't. Aren't you proud of me? Let's move on. The other thing, no, this isn't it. The other thing that came, today is HasCon. Hasbro is doing its own convention full of magic and Transformers and My Little Pony and board games and not G.I. Joe because Yo Joe go to hell. Yeah. So that will be September 8th through the 10th in Providence, Rhode Island. And there's a very important and special thing that's going on at HasCon involving magic. Are you ready?
No.
Okay,
Never.
Then moving on. Let's go to Amonkhet. Oh, no, wait, I gotta tell you anyway. It doesn't matter if you're ready. So
You are not prepared.
It's the 25th anniversary of Magic, right?
That's what I'm told.
Or it will be soon. And, this is so weird. So at HasCon, there will be a super pre-release of a set called Iconic Masters. Now remember, that's September 8th through the 10th. Iconic Masters releases November 17th. I will pause a moment while you pull up a calendar on your computer or phone and look at that. And Brian will cough.
Yep.
Okay, you've had plenty of time to pull up your calendar and look at that. That's a big difference.
Because HasCon is September and the Iconic Masters releases in November. That's a 2-month difference.
Yeah, it is 2 months and a week. And the really weird thing is, there will be no previews before HasCon. The first time Iconic Masters will be seen is at this, pre-release thing. It's a completely blind pre-release. And if that is not a way to get Magic nerds to go to this possibly lame convention, then I don't know what is.
Where is it being held?
Providence, Rhode Island. Uh-oh, Brian's doing math. Brian's like, can I go to
It sounds sweet and also awesome. I wish I could. Probably
both
not.
of those things, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about this in the past. Like, as it is now, you know every card in the set well ahead of time unless you just willfully ignore it.
Yeah.
Or like me and only kind of pay attention. And this, you go in knowing nothing.
Nothing. That's sweet. I mean, you might think, okay, I want to know everything. And, you know, for some people, that's fine. I'm kind of at the point now where I feel like if they're going to put it out there, I'm going to find it out. So I want to know about it. But if everybody was literally on the same playing field and you couldn't know anything, that would be amazing.
Yeah. You remember when we used to try hard and we would like print out spoiler and be reading over it on the way to the pre-release and whatnot
Oh,
back
yeah.
in college?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my god, what nerds were we? So,
What nerds were we? What nerds were we? Sorry. For some reason that just reminded me of...
that is a good song.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think it's called How Great Thou Art. Sorry.
6.5 dozen.
Yeah, you know. So
anyway.
yeah. Now, there is a product page for it, and here's what it says. Iconic Masters offers players a tour through some of the most powerful cards in over 23 years of Magic history. Featuring new artwork on many cards, the set brings an array of massive angels, sphinxes, demons, dragons, and hydras, alongside some of our, alongside some of our favorite and most memorable spells. Every box of Iconic Masters contains 24 booster packs, each with 15 randomly inserted game cards, including one premium card in every pack. Get your friends together to embark on one of the most iconic and power-packed draft experiences ever. By the way, Wizards, if you ever need voiceover people, there you go. You can call me. You can find me at the Manipool.
Everyone should use Oxford commas forever. That's my opinion as an English major. The other way is just wrong.
Did you see that the Supreme Court actually held that up?
I think I heard something about that, yes.
Yeah, we'll
the lack of it made a certain law about overtime rules ambiguous.
Yep. So there you go. The highest court in the land of the U.S. says Oxford comma is the way to go. Now,
plus we say it, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, and we're obviously more important. So, yeah. Anyway, back to Iconic Masters. That's what we know. Release date, 249 cards. Iconic.
Cool.
Nice. And I'm glad they're at least acknowledging the 25th anniversary. If you remember with Theros and the 20th anniversary, they said retroactively one of their greatest regrets was the whole player base was like, this is going to be great. And they were like, they took like a day and they're like, here's some stuff. Okay, done. And everybody's like, what? So I'm glad that they are like, hey, look, year-long celebration, exciting products, blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah. So there you go. That's that.
Yep.
Three little bits of news.
Is that all we got for news?
Yeah.
All right.
All that this audience cares about. There were some changes to the dual commander banned and restricted list. Yeah, see, we don't even care about that on Monday Night Magic.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
What were the changes to the commander banned and restricted list?
Dual commander. It's a whole other format.
Oh, yeah, don't care.
Yeah, see, exactly. So, Amonkhet. Right.
Yes. So, the card image gallery was completed last Friday, as of when we are covering this today on 4/20. Yeah. So we've had a couple days to kind of peruse these cards. And I gotta say, for the most part, we saw almost all of the mythics, not all of them, and a lot of the rares, but there's still some really interesting stuff that was not available yet. So
does that mean because you let on that we're recording this on April 20th, we have to talk about Blazing Volley first?
Dirk said that we're not going to be jumping around. So
please don't. Let's not jump around.
He said pick a color. We could start with red. It's fine.
It's not the top. I'm not OCD, but I have slight OCD tendencies. Slight. All right, fine. Let's start in the middle. So Blazing Volley for 1 red is a sorcery, and it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Yeah. So the common, that's a common. I have a hard time sometimes with this set symbol. That's a common.
Yeah, something about, I don't know, hopefully it'll be easier to see on the card. But on these mock-ups, I get the rare and the mythic, I have to like look twice. And the common and uncommon, I have to look twice.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Blazing Volley is kind of interesting. I know it's just a common and it's not like, woo, but not so much for this set. I think it's okay here. Obviously, it's fine at common, it's fine at 1 mana. I feel like in Kaladesh, this is really interesting because you've got all the Thopters and all of the servos, and to just be like, pew!
Just take out one, someone's half their army.
But I think here for limited, it's a bit of a trap where you might look at it and go, this is going to be great, but it's a sorcery. So, and the creatures here seem to be a little bigger on average, and even the tokens are usually bigger tokens because you're talking about Embalm and other things. You're not talking about Thopters. So I feel like, I mean, this is okay, but it's not great, but I know why you want to talk about it, so there you go.
I didn't even want to talk about it. I just brought it up because
too late now.
So let's
now that Brian has taken your throwaway joke super seriously, do you regret making it?
I regretted making it anyway. I was hoping no one would even mention the date so I wouldn't have to bring it up. But I did, so I had to.
All right, so let's move on then.
So let's go back to White.
I hate you so much. So also in red.
That's not the top, Brian.
So, all right, fine. So in White.
Hey guys, this is fun.
Scroll.
Can I just point out that all of the zombie, the mummy zombies, they just freak me out.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to a little bit. I think they're supposed to be unsettling. And when you read the story, it's interesting because Jace is uncomfortable with this. And even Liliana, who's like, zombies are my thing, is a little put off by these because she doesn't control them. And at one instance, she actually does reach out to try and control them with her necromancy, and she realizes it doesn't work. So this, Queen of the Dead is like, it's nice to be weighted on hand and foot, but she also likes to feel in control, especially of the dead, and it just feels a little unsettling. So, you gotta think it's interesting that the people that live here are so used to being weighted on by these things that they're just kind of used to it. But for anybody that wouldn't be used to it, if a mummy showed up at your house tomorrow, Dirk, and offered to babysit your kids, what would you say?
I wouldn't be for it.
All right. See, that's what I thought.
Now, on the other hand, if a mummy showed up and offered to, clean my apartment, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a chance.
My problem is I'd be worried what the mummy would feed my kids. Because I'm like, I'd look in there and find, it'd be, mummified cat would be what they would eat for dinner.
Ooh, that sounds good. We've got one of those in this set.
We have more than one, I think.
Oh, even
better. What do you think?
There it is.
What do you think of compulsory rest? I think it's kind of an interesting removal-ish spell. Mm-hmm. For 1 and a white, same cost as the original pacifism. It's an aura. It's at common, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. An enchanted creature has pay 2, sacrifice this creature, you gain 2 life. Marshall Sutcliffe put out an article talking about limited and specifically removal in this limited format earlier this week, I think on Tuesday. And he said that this was an interesting card and he didn't think it was as good as people thought it would be, mostly because of Embalm. But every time he talks about Embalm, I can't help but feel like, okay, there are a lot of cards in this set that don't have Embalm. That don't have Embalm. Like every time he's like, this is worse because of Embalm, I'm like, then put it on something that doesn't have it, I mean, he is Marshall Sutcliffe, and his knowledge of limited compared to mine, his is a rainstorm and mine is a leaky faucet. So it's not even close. But to hear that, I'm just like, I felt like he was getting caught up on that. I think for most of the time, this is going to effectively remove the creature, and that's what you want. The fact that they can gain 2 life off of it, might be a bit of a setback, but hopefully if you're playing this right, that 2 life won't really matter.
The other thing is you can put it on the creature that has been embalmed.
Also true.
Yeah.
Also true.
So it's better because of embalm.
Are there ways to get enchantments back from the graveyard in this set?
I don't know.
I'd have to look because then
if there were, they'd probably be in white, and I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking if there was a way to get a permanent back from your graveyard, then even them sacking the creature to get the life, well, then it puts it in your graveyard, and if you have a way to get that back, then you can effectively pacify something else as well. So, just a thought. I don't think it's good enough for constructed, but it would be an interesting idea for a delirium deck. So, just throwing that out there. So I think it's interesting. I think it's a interesting take on the whole pacifism thing.
Can we talk about the art on Aven Mind Sensor real quick?
Sure.
It's like the dude from Indestructible Aura just got sick of your crap.
Yeah. He's finally back to take his revenge.
Yeah.
I feel like he looks like the owl from The Secret of Nim.
The Secret of Nim. Oh my god, as soon as you said owl, it popped into my head. The owl from Secret of Nim drank his milk and is now here to kick your ass. Buh.
Let's talk about the art on Sparring Mummy.
Okay.
Notice how he has little targets painted onto his wrappings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
like a sparring dummy, a mummy dummy. Hey, mummy.
every mummy in this society, Liliana, something else she said in in the article that went up this week, where it's from her perspective, is that she felt it was unusual that these mummies, unlike most of her zombies just do exactly what she tells them to do. She said the mummies are actually trained somehow through magic or other means to anticipate her needs. So these mummies are given specific roles and they carry them out perfectly. And here, with the art, and I didn't see it before, I think that's great. This guy is literally made to be a crash test dummy, basically.
I'm just thinking how amazing the Mythbusters would find that. They're like, here, I'll crash this guy into this. All right, how do you feel? He said he doesn't feel very good from the crash.
All right, we're going to drop Duster, our crash test mummy, from 30 feet. All right, Duster, hey.
How do you
All right,
feel?
Duster's arm came off. I think Duster would be dead. So this myth is busted. Duster, the crash test mummy. I like that. We should do that. We should make that happen. We'll just wrap Dirk up and drop him from a great height. It'll be fine. While we're on art, I really like the Gust Walker in white.
Yeah.
He's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
A 2/2 for 1 and a white, human wizard, and when it attacks, you can exert him to give him +1/+1 in flying.
This is a
It's
good,
actually really good.
this is a good bear. I think the small creatures with exert and some form of evasion are really interesting. There's one in black that we'll get to later. I think that gets death touch, +1/+0 and death touch. And obviously you don't want to do it every turn because your damage just won't keep up. But so there's the question.
I want to do it every turn.
Well, then you're going to be tapped out a lot and I'm going to roll in and smash your face. But
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like a threat.
it is a threat, especially if I play him first round, which is going to happen. So he'll, note to self, Mike will exert every turn or he's a liar. So, but I think there's a lot, I think there's a decent amount of strategy, to when to exert and when not to. I think for some of the later game threats, you're almost certainly going to be exerting a lot because by the time you even get to play them, the game isn't going to be going on too many more turns. For the early creatures that have exert, I feel like it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger question. So.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Gust Walker and the one right next to it, the Glory Bound Initiate.
That's a good card.
It's a really good card. Tell us about it, Dirk.
The Glory Bound Initiate for 1 and a white. It's a rare 3/1 human warrior. You may exert Glory Bound Initiate as you attack. When you do, it gets +1/+3 and gains lifelink until end of turn.
See, that's a more obvious.
Yeah, so
A
the
4/4.
Gust Walker
Yeah.
can jump. It becomes a 3/3 flyer. This one becomes a 4/4 lifelinker, but if you don't exert it, it still hits for 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn!
And this is one, again, where you might go, well, I want to do this every time because of the life gain. And that I feel like if you're exerting every time with this, it's maybe not a bad idea because holding it back to like block may not be the best idea. But at the same time, there's a little bit of strategy here where, knowing that you can get in right now may be more valuable than gaining the life. And then being able to gain the life next turn might make a bigger difference. Or having 4 toughness next turn might be a bigger difference. So,
That's a good card.
I like, or I'm intrigued a little bit by Gideon's intervention. It
How
is,
do I know when you said the word intrigued, I was like, oh, this is going to be the intervention.
and actually, we were talking a little bit last time about some of the story spotlight cards. This is number 5 of 5. What was number 4? What was number 4?
That was the red one. The X spell that destroys artifacts.
Really?
Yeah. What's it called?
I can't find it.
I know the one you're talking about because people have been saying, hey, by force.
Okay.
Okay. I think I just missed that was a story spotlight card. But here you have Gideon protecting somebody from a god, which shows a lot about his current perspective on it, because when he got to the plane, he's all like, gods are amazing, and he starts doing the trials, and at some point he's like, wait, maybe these guys aren't all that good. But he still believed that the gods were paragons, and at this point, obviously, there's no flavor text here, but he's actually protecting somebody from one of them. So that's a pretty big arc right there.
Yeah. And the final trial, what you're seeing here, at the end of the final trial, if you pass it, then Hazaret gives you an honorable death.
Yeah.
Right there on the spot.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So you die either way. No one makes it through the trials alive, but Hazaret gives you an honorable death, and that'll help you on your way to the afterlife.
The very last trial is a fight to the death, and the winner gets to die by the god's hand. Liliana mentions in the story spotlight from this week, she points out to Jace that every single one of the mummies that they have seen has some kind of physical impairment. Every single one was crippled or lost a limb or was wounded even somewhat, and you can actually see it in like some of the mummies limp or anything. And her question is, does no one actually die like a clean death? And the whole point of the trials is for the worthiest of the worthy to die by the god's hand. And then there's one hidden trial at the very end. Even after that, it's not really counted as one of the 5, but there's one final test. And I'm not going to go into that because you need to read the story, but it ties into Liliana and what's going on in the plane. And if you want to know more about that, it's not actually covered by the cards as far as I can tell, except for maybe one that we'll get to in Artifacts. But it's kind of like one last, test, I guess. So Gideon here seems to be, the name is Gideon's Intervention. So somebody's getting ready to die by the god's hand. He's like, you know what? Not today. So what's the card do? For 2 and 2 white, it's a rare, it's an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a card name. And when you read that line, you go, oh, something's about to go down, especially in white. Your opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name, so it's a meddling mage. And prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and permanents you control by sources with the chosen name, which is something else. There's something else that does that. But
is there?
I don't know.
Okay, well, it's also basically protection from that.
I mean, ruined halos can specifically give you protection from a card.
But this also gives protection to permanents you control, which is interesting for multiplayer.
Well, it only prevents damage. They can still be targeted and stuff, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Essentially, yes. But this is interesting to me for multiplayer because you can say, hey, I'm going to name Mike's scary thing. First of all, maybe he won't be able to play it at all. But second of all, if he has it out, it can't hurt me, and it can't hurt any of my stuff. So why don't you just take your guy elsewhere? Okay? Why don't you take it on over to Dirk? So,
it'd be really funny to cast Gideon's Intervention, naming Gideon of the Trials, so that once you kill their Gideon, their emblem is pointless. I just thought that was funny. And actually a thing that could happen.
What?
Hey, I didn't swear when the dishwasher did that thing.
Oh, nice.
That took a little longer than I thought it was going to.
It just was really loud and scared me.
It'll be okay.
Do
you need some protection?
Yes, from dishwasher.
Of the Hekma? Hekma? Is that how you pronounce it? Hekma.
I don't know. What are you looking at?
Protection of the Hekma.
Oh.
Yeah. I got distracted and I just realized something else.
What's that?
So Gideon's Intervention stops your opponents from casting the card.
Right.
But it doesn't stop you. And the damage it prevents, it doesn't have to be a source that your opponents control.
Huh.
So you can be like Gideon's Intervention, Skirk Fire Marshal. Or blowing up everyone except yourself.
Oh wow! Because then none of the goblins would shoot themselves. Because
and it wouldn't deal damage to you either.
Mike, you're a bad man, and it's awesome. That's great.
In this set, it's Sweltering Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
One-sided 3 damage to your opponent's creatures for 3 mana. Ooh, that seems good.
Yeah. This is spicy. I like it.
Yeah.
You can name Emrakul in standard, just in case.
Yes. I really like Inoketra's name, because I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodoo you voodoo, bitch.
Yeah, it is nice that it just costs 2 for what it does. That's convenient.
And it's an instant.
Yeah, so for 1 and a white, it's a common instant that says zombies you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's...
You can use it in any deck that has white, and if you happen to have zombies, it's better. But... which makes it perfect for limited because, you may not get the... How bad would this card be if you got it and it was just a bonus for zombies and you got like 2 zombies in your pool? Because that's going to happen to somebody.
Yeah. And then this card is dildos. But because of that second sentence there, this card is good.
Yeah.
And it's just gravy with zombies.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that it's giving unholy strength to the white zombies, though. That just makes me happy.
Speaking of white zombies, Oketra's Attendant. It makes me so happy that there is a creature in this set with Cycling and Embalm. It makes me so happy because it's just like this is exactly what should be happening. For 3 and 2 white, it's a 3/3 flyer, bird soldier. It's uncommon. 3/3 flyer for 5 is very respectable. And you can just run it out there, and it's got Embalm of 3 and 2 white, so it costs exactly the same. So you can run it out there, and when it dies, get another one. Seems great. And it has cycling of 2 colorless, so you can even discard it early and then get a flyer later. It seems simple, but I feel like uncommon is exactly where this should be, because I feel like at common, there would be way too many of these, and it would get so annoying to play against. I like it. It's simple, but it's great. What do you think?
I think it's a great combo.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
I think it sucks. Not really. I think it's awesome, but I'm just being contrary.
It makes me remember how much I enjoyed playing Viscera Dragger in Charge Limited, because it had cycling and unearth.
Yep. Same
It was
basic
awesome.
idea, except a little more sustainability.
Right.
Yes.
Right? Unearth was just like, gone, right?
Right.
Okay, I do remember things. Yeah. Did we talked about the Regal kitty, right?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cat Lord. Meow. I don't want to feel like I'm the one talking all the time, but there's some interesting stuff here. Did you guys see Time to Reflect?
I am now.
Well, Dirk, why don't you tell the people what it does?
What do you mean, the people?
Yeah. Time to Reflect for 1. For a white. It's a uncommon instant. Exile target creature that blocked or was blocked by a zombie this turn.
What?
I guess time to reflect on why you got in front of a zombie.
Basically. Do you see what's happening in the art?
It looks like they're shoving a living dude into a sarcophagus.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think Nissa and Chandra started to discover in their last story moment, that dissenters or people who won't get with the program with everything that's going on Amonkhet, they get shoved inside a sarcophagus to think about what they've done. Because
Nissa was trying to use the mana of the plane to find this girl that had been protesting. I think that girl turns out to be the crazy, awesome, multicolored legend that we covered last time, Samut, the voice of dissent.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of come across these sarcophagi.
Yes.
And as they're going toward them, the white god approaches them with Gideon and was like, you're not supposed to be around there. And they're like, okay, not just like, okay, like, but they get distracted by that and they leave. And this, and I think it was left a bit ambiguous. There's also a couple other etchings and things on the walls that are very illuminating, so it kind of centers on that. But this art makes it particularly clear, like, hey, you guys might have been closer to finding her than you realize. Because there was some sarcophagi against the wall. So, but anyway, this is interesting because I saw it and I kind of moved on, and later I looked at it again. I'm like, holy crap, this is like the Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares kind of thing. Okay, not as good as those cards.
I was going to say,
no, but the similarities are there. For 1 white, exile a creature. This is conditional. The others are just, they get some sort of bonus for losing their creature. Here, it's conditional, but then the creature simply exiled, nothing else. Just, hey, you messed with the zombie. Too bad. And, first of all, you can do it. Attack with your zombies. Oh, look, you blocked with your 8/8. Well, it's gone before damage, so I keep my zombie. But, because this all says, this doesn't have to happen during combat. If, for whatever reason, you don't want it to happen during combat, the whole was blocked by a zombie, maybe you throw your zombie in front of it, and they're like, all right, here's what I'm doing during my second main phase, and it's all based around what the board state is like, and they're like, okay, go, and like, all right, at the end of your turn, exile that creature. Why? Well, because there was a zombie there this turn. That can really kind of screw with them too. So I feel like this is interesting.
Sounds like an extremely narrow combat trick for limited to me, and that's it. Nice. But whatever you say, man.
You're going to get blown out by it, and I'm going to...
Oh, I totally will. I'll be like, son of a... And then I will never tell you about it.
And then you'll never tell me about it, so I'll be sure to be there with my phone recording every second. So,
damn it.
One that I looked at that, again, it's a very simple card, Fan Bearer.
I like it.
I was just thinking about mentioning Fan Bearer.
For 1 white, it's a 1/2 common zombie that for 2 generic mana.
Good job.
And tap target creature. So it goes down on turn 1, and then all you gotta do is get another card or another land, and essentially if someone plays something really good, you can just tap it down.
It's one of those god-awfully annoying,
like stall cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, oh, he's got a freaking Fan Bear. Kill it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I value these a little worse than they actually are when I'm playing in a limited event. Because I know how good they are, but for some reason I don't actually want to put them in my deck, even though sometimes I should.
Well, and I very much agree and see where you're going with that, because they're cards that are not going to win you the game. It's going to be a big flashy card that's going to win you the game, but on the other hand, it is a card that sometimes you do need to put into a draft deck, because it's amazing how often there's this one card that they're going to kill you with it, but the fact that you can tap it down and keep it from whooping on you is what saves you.
Or even there's a key creature that they would be blocking and saving themselves with.
Yeah.
But instead you're going to tap it down and keep it out of the way.
Yep. Works on offense and defense. I like this. It's simple, it's straightforward, but the implications are pretty important. And if you can't remove it, then the game may already be over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
at the very least, the game is going to be much, much longer.
Which the format, you have the exert cards on the one hand, and then everything else is grind. So,
I just read the Vizier of Remedies.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
What's it do?
It's an uncommon human cleric for a 1 and a white. It's a 2/1. If 1 or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters -1 are put on it instead. So if something says put 2 -1/-1 counters on something of yours, you only put 1. And if it says put 1, then you don't put any.
Devoted Druid.
But you still paid the cost because you put them on there. It just didn't make it because you put the number you needed to, which was 1 -1, which is none.
Yeah, it's not like Malira, where Malira stops you from paying the cost of Devoted Druid's ability.
Yep. Infinite mana.
Changes the result of paying the cost.
arbitrarily large mana, whatever you want to call. And then, of course, there's, what's the one, like Murderous Redcap? What's that ability?
Persist.
Persist.
Yeah, it interacts with Persist basically in the same way that Melira does.
And it's interesting within this format as well, of course, because then your stuff that says come in with X counters on it doesn't, or doesn't have as many. So I like it. It's combo-rific.
Yeah.
Because there were a bunch of cards in green that had to do with moving -1/-1 counters around and viewing this and being able to do this with it. This definitely changes things a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the other Vizier, the Vizier of Deferment, as like a sort of pseudo Fiend Hunter meets Reflector Mage kind of thing? Did Reflector Mage have?
You just gave it way more credit than it's worth.
Did Reflector Mage have Flash?
No, thank God.
Okay, thank God. Okay, I must be thinking of Collected Company, so I just assumed that that Reflector Mage had Flash, plus the fact that it made the creature stay in your hand for a turn. I think that's probably why. So it's more like just a Fiend Hunter. It has Flash.
I mean, it's a blink. It's one of those delayed.
Oh, right.
Blink. It just comes back at the end of the turn.
And that's me, RTSC. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's just a blink. For two and a mana. Let's see if I can do this right. For 2 and a mana, 2 and a white mana. Oh my God. 2 and a white mana.
Words are hard.
Human Cleric, uncommon, 2/2, with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature if it attacked or blocked this turn. God, I can't even read the card. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. That is a weird card. Every time I read it, the words on it change just a little bit. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. This card has hidden meanings only a satellite can read.
Oh my God. Do you know what this is for?
What?
This is for resetting your exerted guys.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It seems to be way better for that than for anything offensive.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because if they attacked or blocked this turn, that means they lived and they're still on the battlefield. So blinking it doesn't do anything for, like, blinking an opponent's creature doesn't do much.
It makes it go back home instead of attacking, but yeah.
And if it's because it's got Flash, right, duh. It also gets rid of,
the embalm guys.
Things. Yeah, so that's good. But it also resets your exerted guys, which is super sweet.
I was trying to figure out, like, why would that would seem like a weird card to be like, if it attacked or blocked, well, then there's really no reason to blink it. But that would be the reason why.
Mike pointed out, it's got Flash, so once they attack with it, you can throw the Vizier down before you block. To get rid of the attacker.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely missed that until Mike said it. I'm like, oh yeah, right, duh, Flash. Didn't we just talk about that? Mm-hmm. Reading is hard. So while we're on Exert, guys, there was one more I wanted to talk about. The Ta Crop Elite, which is common, and it's going to kill you. For 3 and a white, it's a 2/2 bird warrior. It has flying. You can exert it. And if you do, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's just all of your guys go.
Oh wow.
Bang, you're dead.
Yeah, this is gonna kill at least one of our listeners, and they're gonna be like, ugh. So that's pretty cool. Every other turn, without shenanigans, you can buff up your whole attacking crew.
Things you ran 4. Attack it once, and all of your creatures get +4/+4. That's better than an overrun, just without the trample.
And Dirk lives in Magical Christmas Land.
It's a nice place.
It is. It's nice and cozy. So is there anything else in white that we need to talk about? What about the Devoted Crop Mate?
He's interesting.
That's
2 and a white. He's an uncommon 3/2 human warrior. And you can exert him. When you do, return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
There's a lot of them.
Damn, I missed that. That says battlefield, y'all. It doesn't say hand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was in cons, there was a really awesome guy with raid who did that. That was his raid trigger.
Yes.
With this one, if he survives that first combat, you might even get to do it again later. And that's awesome.
Repeatable.
Get back your fan bearer. Make your opponent go, oh!
I just finished killing that. Oh my god.
Yeah, or the Vizier of Remedies.
Oh.
I see what you did there.
I just love, like, I really think that the fan bearer is, what the flavor of the fan bearer is, he just walks up and waves the little fan at you and you go, oh, it's so relaxing, and you just fall.
You're just like, I'm good.
Oh.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take this seat. I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Hold my calls.
It just makes me happy that that's what you're gonna do to your opponent's, creatures. Like, you know what? That 5/5 really looks like it needs to chill.
Everybody else is
so
like,
nice.
let's go get him. And the one guy, the big guy, probably is like, I'm going to chill here. It's really funny if you wait for them to activate their Gideon and then they move to combat, because Gideon is such a gung-ho guy, and Gideon's like, I'm going to complete the trials. As soon as this show goes off, and
Gideon's like, all right, it's combat. We're going. Let's go. You guys go. I'm going to get a pedicure.
Netflix and chill. All right.
So blue?
So blue. Ancient crab is not worth talking about. But,
correct.
It is a card. Cancel is here, which is fine. It's the counter spell now, so I saw it and went, okay.
Yeah, and we don't have core sets anymore, so it needs to show up in these sets.
Yeah. A card I actually do find really interesting is Cryptic Serpent. And I'm wondering if this could be one of these blue finishers in the right control decks. Was that a spider?
Well, no, I just read Cryptic Serpent. I was like, is that a spider? Screw you.
It is a serpent. It's uncommon. It costs, I'm doing the air quotes, 5 generic and 2 blue for a 6/5, which is pretty reasonable. Maybe slightly overcosted, but it's in blue. However, Cryptic Servant costs 1 generic less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Hi, Arcane Giant. How are you?
No, wait, oh, okay. I was gonna say, that's the wrong game, Brian, but okay, now I see what you did there.
Yeah. So,
I'll be okay.
You sure? So,
no.
So, without too much trouble, this thing can cost 4 fairly easily. And in a devoted deck, it's going to cost 2 by the time you're ready to play it. And what that does then is, even if you're playing it on turn 7 for 2 mana, you might go, oh, well, you're not playing it early. No, but you're playing it and you're able to protect it. So,
you're playing it with mana up, or you're playing it and another thing.
And just flooding the board. And when I say flood, one of the things you're flooding it with is a 6/5. So, yeah. So I don't know. For me, it's a question of, is there anything better? But I could see a control deck playing this. This one and the next one, I think, are very interesting finisher. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry, I saw a Sphinx and said, okay, I was thinking of a different Sphinx.
The Sphinx sucks.
The Sphinx is good. It's just...
It is.
Why can't I hold all these Sphinxes? So the next Sphinx is the Curator of Mysteries. For 2 blue, it's a 4/4 flyer. What? 4/4 flyer for 4? What?
Okay.
It has cycling of a blue. And whenever you cycle or discard another card, you scry 1. So, hey, Mike, how does that work? When you cycle a card, what's the order of things?
When you cycle a card, part of the cost to cycle it is discarding it. So that'll trigger anything that triggers when you cycle or discard a card. So you'll do that first. And then after you're finally done with all those things, you'll draw a card from cycling.
So let's say you pay your 2 mana, you discard your whatever thing, and then you scry. So you look at the top card.
Yes.
I don't want this crap. You put it on the bottom, and then you draw the next card after that for the cycle.
Correct.
Nice. That makes this way better.
I think that's the key thing, but you could do it in the other order and just, you already know what that card is going to draw and then scry the next one, go.
Actually, you can't do it in the other order.
You can't?
That's just not how it works. No, you don't have a choice. You have to do it. You have to do it in the order that we said.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dark.
It's like, I had assumed that you were able to order it the way you wanted it.
For things, okay. For triggered abilities that trigger at the same time, yes, but that's not what's happening here. Cycling, you're activating an ability and it's making another ability trigger. So you got to go handle that. So after you activate it, like paying the cost makes the triggered ability trigger. So then you got to go handle that triggered ability before you finish resolving the activated ability that you activated.
Okay. It's sort of like the old Cross and Tusker thing.
Yes.
You go get the land first, and then you draw.
And then draw, yeah. You don't have a choice in the matter. That's how you got to do it.
Yeah. Which makes this better, because if you just draw and then scry, that's just less good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a difference between Serum Visions and Preordain.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference.
Didn't one of those run into some legality issues?
Yeah, Preordain got banned in Modern.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's legal in Legacy. I'm pretty sure it's restricted in Vintage. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
I have the timeline right here. I'll look.
Gatherer, Preordain.
Well, the one that I looked at and thought, that's interesting, is the compelling argument.
It has nothing in Legacy or Vintage.
Okay, it's just banned in Modern. All right.
Yeah. And extended, in case that matters.
Wow, they keep up with extended now?
No, the list that Chewy has.
The banned and restricted timeline just lists in order things that were banned in what.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So
what about compelling argument, Dark?
So for one in a blue, it's a common sorcery. Target player puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into the graveyard, and it has cycling of a blue. So it has a fairly cheap cycling. Are all of the blues cheap in their cycling cost?
Very many of them are.
Just the Aven Initiate has got a huge one, but
that's an embalmed cost.
Oh, that's embalmed. Ooh, big difference.
Wow, if that was cycling.
Cycling for 7. Wow, you must really want that card. That'd be good.
Wait,
I'm gonna be pissed.
So wait, if it cycles for 7, is it gonna like exile all your land too?
Oh man,
that's a decree joke.
Have a really good cycling. Cycle this card and you win the game.
I could play this 3/2 flyer for half the cost, but I really just want to draw a card. 3/2 flyer.
This fly sucks.
Oh man, Dirk, I love you.
But yeah, there are many blue cards on this list where the cycling cost is just a single blue mana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I just think it's fun that there is sort of a milling card in the set. Mm-hmm. And again, it's cheap. It's 2 mana.
Well, and it's a graveyard set as well, so there's a little bit of that spread here and there. Can I just say how weird it is that there's an illusion that can become a mummy?
I was just about to bring that up. Labyrinth Guardian raises many questions.
Most of which I'm really uncomfortable with. So, I mean, the rights of illusions is not something we really want to get into. It's a hot button issue, Yeah,
but we try to keep the show as non-political as
exactly.
possible. Yeah.
So... The Labyrinth Guardian costs 1 and a blue for a 2/3 illusion warrior, and when it becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. Oh, it doesn't...
It's not or ability.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Okay. So yeah, when you target it with a spell, it disappears, like illusions often do. But then it has Embalm of 3 and a blue, which is fine, but it's an illusion, so first of all, how did you embalm it? Who went to recover the body? How did they do it?
Why did they do it?
Who taught them how to do this?
What did they wrap up?
Yeah, how did anyone figure out how to do this?
So I just dropped a link in the chat to the tokens page.
Oh yeah, because it has all the involved.
Where you can actually see the Labyrinth Guardian Zombie Illusion Warrior token, and that doesn't help.
No,
I mean,
That doesn't help at all.
I mean, from a card perspective, I really like what's going on here because, yes, it turns any spell they've got into a removal spell, but if they're just trading 1 for 1, the fact that you can get this back is great because then, okay, well, they've spent a card to get rid of it, and now I have it back again. So I like what it's doing. The only problem for me is the flavor fail. Lava fail.
A little bit. It is very strange. I agree, though. It is a good card. I see why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's one of the. It's more of Melvin than Vorthos in this particular case.
Yes.
Sacred Cat is so cute.
Oh yeah,
The mummy Sacred Cat is just like, it's just like, I'm a cat. It's all wrapped up.
Well, what you're not hearing, because it's just a still picture, you're not hearing. Oh.
The glyph keeper just looks like, you put a blanket over a cat and the cat's like, where is everybody?
Oh my god!
There's this thing on my head, I need help.
Oh my god.
The Haven Initiative, like, I don't know if that's gonna work, bro. Because his wings are all wrapped up and everything, and he's jumped off of something. So I don't know if he's like falling, if someone like catapulted him or what. He's just like, I'm flying.
I love the Angel of Sanctions, but the mummy art doesn't look like it should be able to fly.
It doesn't look at all.
This is not how propulsion works, guys.
You can also see what Brian was talking about on most of some of these mummies. Mm-hmm. Like the Aven Initiate is missing a leg.
Yeah.
The True Heart Duelist is missing a hand.
Yeah. The Honored Hydra has a stump at the end of one of his necks instead of a head.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure that they did all that on purpose.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did. The Unwavering Initiate, instead of a second hand, has a pointed thing.
I think his regular art has that too. I think it's just a weapon. But I think in his regular art, he's holding it with his hand, and then this art is just, it's on his stump.
No, that's definitely on his stump in the normal art too.
You sure?
I mean, there's not a hand there unless it's...
it's inside the thing where he's holding it.
And given the position of no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless he's got it pulled way back behind him, and that would explain the pained look on his face. This hurts my shoulder. Are you done painting the picture yet? Damn you, Greg Obolinski? I can't quite make out the name of the artist. Anyway, so back to blue. I like Drake Haven. Drake Haven is really cool.
I was thinking about that
Astral
one too.
Slide, but not stupid. What's it do, Dirk?
For 2 in a blue, it's a rare enchantment. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1, like 1 generic. If you do, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. So this is going great with a cycling deck. Or discard.
Yeah, I'm going to bring back Call the Bloodlines. Just be making vampires and drakes. Boop, boop, boop.
Drakes for the vampires to fly on?
Yes.
I like it. Is the fact that Essence Scatter will be standard legal, is that important? It feels important to me just because it's efficient. Essence Scatter for 1 in a blue, instant counter target creature spell. It's been around for a long time, but it's been a while since it's been in standard. I'm going to pull it up. And Gatherer. You can keep going if you want. I just saw it and I was like, really? Because, they don't make counter spells terribly efficiently anymore. Essence Scatter, Fracture, Sliver. I don't know, see this.
So with Negate being in Kaladesh block and Battle for Zendikar block, you'll have Cancel, Essence Scatter, and Negate together. So you can split them. You can split the numbers on them however you see fit.
Essence Scatter has been in M10, M13, and M14.
That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember, it used to be, what was the old name? And they said, oh, that sounds
Remove
like a black
Soul.
card. Remove Soul. And they're like, that sounds like a black card. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember when I was just starting out, I tried to, and I'm pretty sure, some of my friends did, we would be terroring things with Remove Soul all the time before we figured out what it actually did. It says it right there, Remove Soul. It has a bunch of flesh getting ripped off of a skeleton. Don't you see what it does? It's obvious.
Totally kills a dude. Yeah. What else? So what was the Sphinx you were thinking of, Brian?
the Sphinx I was thinking of that I think is a pretty decent finisher for a control deck is called the Glyph Keeper. For 3 and 2 blue, it is a Sphinxy Sphinx. It's a rare. It is a 5/3 with flying, so it smashes really hard. It has Embalm of 5 and 2 blue, and both it and its mummy have the ability, whenever Glyph Keeper becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, counter that spell or ability. So, a lot like the
Kira.
Yeah, great glass spinner. So it reminds me a little bit of the Labyrinth Guardian, which is kind of funny because they work kind of in opposite ways. But the Labyrinth Guardian we talked about is good because they have to burn 2 spells basically to get rid of it forever. One for it and one for its mummy. Here, it's more like 4 spells because the first one gets countered and then you can get this back. So obviously a Wrath doesn't target it, so good job for that. But on a kind of targeted removal, it's just not going to work. And you're in blue, so you should probably be countering anything that would actually kill it. So 5/3 with that kind of ability feels really strong to me.
You can get this back, and it'll be a cat with a blanket on his head. This looks like a job for Duster, the crash test mummy. Yes, I agree though, Brian. The Glyph Keeper does seem pretty damn good.
Thank you.
And I mean, technically the Labyrinth Guardian does the same thing. You know, when it becomes the target of a spell, that spell is countered.
True. Don't target the Labyrinth Guardian with deal 3 damage, gain 3 life, because you'll be a little disappointed with what happens next. Especially if you needed that life.
Hey, look, there's a one-shot Sorcerer's Queen.
Yeah, the enchantment. What's it called?
Illusory Wrappings. For 2 and a blue, enchant creature, common. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 0/2.
It doesn't shut down abilities, and they can always block with that creature. But it effectively makes it pretty worthless. So,
yeah.
How mad is Lay Claim going to make people?
So mad, though.
So mad? I think so, too.
I like the way what is that, a drake?
A dragon.
A dragon? Something?
Yeah, see, it has arms, so it's a dragon.
Oh, it has arms. See, that's my first thought. Well, it's a crocodile. No, wait, it's got wings. What the hell is that?
Yeah, the dragons here have crocodile heads. They're pretty cool.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a dragon in like the hand of God. Literally, it's just like, that's mine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the god from Monty Python. He's reaching down, like, right, stop that. But it's you control enchanted permanent for 5 blue, and it has cycling of 2. So, like, permanent. That's big.
Yeah.
You can totally steal someone's desert.
Or you could steal, their enchantment.
Or their god.
Wow. I
like Dirk's better. Yeah.
Don't try to steal their Labyrinth Guardian. It's not going to work.
I'm sorry, but I can picture Dirk saying, "We've come to steal your god." Just feels wrong.
Where is your god now? Over here.
Sorry, guys, he took me away.
I defected.
I got you, God.
Oh my god.
Oh, there was something else I was going to talk about, and then, oh wow, he just,
Stole your god?
yeah.
Sorry, nothing. Something got in my throat.
Hieroglyphic illumination is really cool.
I like the art a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Just with the way it works. Like for 3 and a blue, it's an instant. Draw 2 cards. But it has cycling of a single blue mana.
So, pay a blue, get a card, or pay 4 and get 2.
Yeah.
Which means it's pretty good all the time. I like it.
Mm-hmm. And then right beside it, the Sekma Sentinels for 2 and a blue. That's a common, right?
Mm-hmm.
Common 3/2 or 2/3. Sorry. When you cycle or discard a card, the Sentinels get +1/+1 until end of turn. Once again, another card that when you cycle or discard, get a bump.
This card reminds me a lot of the things. Basically, it reminds me of prowess a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say it's cycling prowess or discarding prowess, whatever.
Seems good.
Yeah.
How good is Naga Oracle?
Oh.
Well, just real quick, you had an ooh, so let me go through this real quick. For 3 and a blue, it's a 2/4 Naga Cleric. It's a common. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put any number of them into your graveyard and put the rest back on top of your library in any order. This is basically Scry 3.
Yeah, basically.
Except it puts the other cards into your graveyard instead of on the bottom of your library, which may be better.
It's always better.
Thank you, Mr. Self-Mill. Definitely in this set, with all the enablers, it's just about always better. Because you're setting up maybe your aftermath spells if you don't care about the first half, or you can't cast the first half. Embalm, all sorts of stuff. And last time I checked, I think last week we were saying, wow, Scry 2 is great. So, Scry 3 for 4 mana with a 2/4 body. I like it.
Yeah, seems
so
good.
What did you say ooh about?
Oh, I just saw Sacred Excavation.
Yeah, that's really cool.
A 3 and a blue uncommon sorcery. Return up to 2 target cards with cycling from your graveyard to your hand. What? So you can cycle them again or cast them.
Yeah, if you cycled them earlier in the game for a card and it's later in the game and you can cast them, like that Lay Claim, you basically get both effects. And for your guys, like the one Dirk pointed out that, or the ones I should say, that Dirk has pointed out that care about when you cycle or discard, it gives you more activations of those.
Yeah. It's neat.
I like it.
We're only in blue.
We are. I think we spent a little too much time on white since we had committed to just focusing on that at first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically everything else I'm seeing in blue is sort of standard blue nonsense, unless I'm missing something.
No, I think you're right. I do like the Slither Blade for 1 blue. It's a 1/2 unblockable at common. I feel like you can do neat stuff there. But it's also perfectly fine. It's not at all like shenanigansy.
These cobra-headed Naga are freaking me the hell out. I'm just
I definitely like how they've committed to the art with this. It's not just, here's a Hydra. Even the Hydra have cobra heads. It's not just a dragon. The dragons have crocodile heads, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go to
black.
Where lots of people were upset about the baleful Amonkhet.
Why are people upset about it? It's awesome.
Because apparently, you've read the story. Isn't there someone called Amonkhet who's like a big deal?
What?
No.
Maybe? No?
Means Samet?
Samus.
Or maybe Dammit.
What are we talking about?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just remember seeing people disappointed that baleful Amonkhet isn't legendary, and I was like, okay.
Why?
I don't know.
That's just,
I assumed it was story related.
I don't know.
no, that's just people being. I don't even know.
Samet?
It's just baleful Ammit. It's just a creature.
I mean, is Ammit the name of a specific character in some real world Earth mythology or what?
Ooh, I don't know. Let me look. Ammit. Oh, yes, it is. A female demon in ancient Egyptian religion with a body that was part lion, hippopotamus, and crocodile, the three largest man-eating animals known to ancient Egyptians.
Okay, so
But is that demon unique or is it a type of demon? Can you tell?
I don't know. A funerary deity. Her titles that was a singular.
Okay, so people feel like she's being misrepresented here.
Which, yeah,
probably a little bit, but
it's very strange that they actually used that name for this creature then, because it's directly tied to a real world thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if we were able to find some monster in Theros where it's not unique, but it actually was unique in the original Greek myth it came from.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. And actually I was going to mention Theros as an example of, I read at least one article while Theros was coming out about somebody saying that they didn't like, the direction that, the Wizards took with some of the story elements. And my reaction is, this is not Greek mythology as told through Magic cards. This is Magic storyline inspired by Greek mythology. So they're not, they can refer to the original stuff and they mentioned, basing this character on this or this character on this, but they don't have to adhere to it. And so when people get upset over this is not exactly the same as the other, I'm like, well, good, because they're putting their own stamp on it. This is not, doesn't have to be the same. So
yeah, we didn't planeswalk to Greece. We planeswalked to Theros.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I think I just realized who it was. It was Sonia Greer, who is an Egyptologist.
Oh, okay.
In the Magic community.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think
maybe the fact that
if that's gonna bother anyone, it's gonna bother her.
Well, and I do think it's interesting if they took something that would normally be a proper noun and made it generic, then that's an interesting way to take that direction. So the card is really interesting. For two,
okay, what's it
for
do?
2 and a black, it is a crocodile demon. It's uncommon. It's a 4/3 with lifelink, and it's got the clause of when it enters the battlefield, put a //- counter on target creature you control. So it could be a 3/2 with lifelink for 3, which isn't terrible. You could play a 3/2 for 3 in limited, and that's fine. But playing a 4/3 with lifelink seems really good. Like that's a
little bit.
If you get to attack with it twice, that's 8 life. That's a lot. It's a lot.
That is not a small number.
Because it's a lot. What do you think about Bone Picker? We were talking
Bone Picker
earlier.
is nuts.
We were talking earlier about the serpent that will probably cost less. Well, how about we take some of that and put it in black too? Because, Mike, what's this nuts card do?
So Bone Picker costs 3 and a black. It's an uncommon bird. It's a 3/2 with flying and death touch. However, Bone Picker costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn.
I miss the death touch because because does it even need it? It's a 3/2. They can.
Hello, my dear listeners. This is Editing Chewy here. I don't understand what happened, but that's all of the episode that you get, unfortunately. Ever since I got this new recording set up where I record essentially a video and rip the audio out of it and use that for the podcast, I've had no problems of any sort until now. When the episode was over, I hit stop recording, paused a second, and hit start recording to start up the odds and ends thing. And the odds and ends were done. I hit stop recording. I went to go start working on this episode, and it was only just under an hour and a half long. And I knew we recorded for longer than that. And it's just gone. I have no idea what happened. So, yeah, that's a new one on me. I'm gonna have to, I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. This actually terrifies me because I use this recording software to record everything. Podcasts, YouTube videos, everything. And I don't know what happened or why. And it sucks. So as you can tell, we made it all the way to the beginning of Black in this episode. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We're gonna go to the pre-release, Mike and Brian and I, and we'll all be at Lucky's, and then we'll probably record stuff there, and if not, we'll record stuff afterwards talking about it, and yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm looking through the cards now, and I have no idea what we said about anything. So I am very sorry. This upsets me so much. You don't even know. I mean, I'm doing this on Friday evening when we finished recording the episode on Thursday evening because I was so pissed off I couldn't think. So yeah. Yeah. So upset. Son of a bitch. But of course, all the usual things, you can find us. We are the Manipool everywhere that we are on the internet, which would be, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon. All of those places are the Manipool. Or you can go to themanipool.com, of course. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, then sorry that the first one that went up is the first one that had a massive problem. Yeah. By the way, I don't even know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode now. I'm gonna put the next couple episodes of both shows up on YouTube to see how that works, because enough people have been asking to where I figure I'll throw it up there and see if it's worth the time. Because it adds like 10 extra steps. I want all you people to know that have been like, why don't you put the show on YouTube? Because it's more work. So you people better go watch it there or listen to it there. There will be no video. It'll just be the logo or something. I don't know what the actual video will be, but it's mostly audio. So yeah, with that, I will be done now. So this has been most of episode 460 of the Manipool. Damn it. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.